Welcome back to Wealth Wagon. Today, we're diving deep into the first book of the Bible, Genesis. Now, you might be thinking, guys, what does Genesis have to do with my money? Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to uncover 7 powerful money lessons hidden within these ancient stories. That's right, these timeless principles, they're just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. We're talking about stewardship, hard work, planning, generosity, and so much more. These are the building blocks of a solid financial foundation, and we're going to break them down together, step by step. So, if you're ready to transform your financial life with a little wisdom from the good book, buckle up and get ready for some straight talk and practical advice. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and make sure you continue getting these lessons on financial wisdom. Right off the bat, in Genesis chapter 1, verses 28 to 30, God gives humanity dominion over the earth. Now, he wasn't saying, go wild, exploit everything in sight. No, sir, he was entrusting us, giving us a responsibility to manage his creation with care and wisdom. Think of it like this. You wouldn't hand over the keys to your brand new car to someone who's just gonna run it into the ground, would you? Of course not. You want someone responsible behind the wheel. That's what God wants from us. He's looking for good stewards of his resources. That means taking care of what we have, not squandering it. It means being thoughtful about our spending, avoiding debt like the plague, and investing in things that matter. Remember, folks, it's not our money, it's God's money, and we're called to be faithful managers of it. He blesses us so we can be a blessing to others. So let's honor him with our finances. If you found this message helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's grow together in wisdom and stewardship. Now, let's talk about Genesis chapter 3, verses 17 to 19. After the fall, things got real tough, real fast. Adam was told he'd have to work by the sweat of his brow. But you know what? There's dignity in hard work. It builds character, teaches us the value of a dollar, and keeps us from relying on handouts or, heaven forbid, debt. Debt is a thief, folks. It steals your future and keeps you trapped in a cycle of never having enough. But hard work? Hard work is the antidote to that poison. It's the pathway to true financial freedom. So roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty, and don't be afraid to hustle. Remember, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And there's no shame in an honest day's work. It's time to take control of our finances and build a future we can be proud of. Now, let's fast forward to Genesis chapter 41, verses 33 to 36. This is where the story gets really interesting. Remember Joseph? He was sold into slavery by his own brothers. Talk about a bad day. But that wasn't the end of his story. But even in the midst of hardship, he kept his head on straight and his eyes on the prize. He never lost faith and continued to work hard, no matter the circumstances. When Pharaoh had those crazy dreams about 7 fat cows and 7 skinny cows, Joseph was ready. He saw an opportunity to make a difference. He knew what it meant: abundance followed by famine. This insight was crucial for the survival of the entire nation. So, what did he do? He told Pharaoh to save, save, save during those plentiful years. His advice was simple but powerful. And you know what? That's exactly what we need to be doing today. Just like Joseph, we need to prepare for the future. We need to be planning for the future, setting aside money for a rainy day, and building an emergency fund that can weather any storm. It's about being proactive, not reactive. Don't wait until disaster strikes to get your financial house in order. The time to act is now, before it's too late. Start small, be consistent, and watch your savings grow. Just like planting a seed, it takes time and care. Remember, a penny saved is a penny earned, and a whole lot of pennies saved adds up to financial peace of mind. Every little bit counts, and over time, it makes a big difference. Let's talk about Jacob for a minute. Now, Jacob had his flaws, but he understood the importance of honesty, especially in business. In Genesis chapter 31, verses 38 to 42, we see him dealing with his father-in-law, Laban. Laban was a real piece of work, always trying to pull a fast one on Jacob. But Jacob stood his ground, he worked hard, and he refused to compromise his integrity. He knew that a good name is more valuable than gold, and that shady dealings always come back to bite you. Listen, folks, integrity matters. It matters in our personal lives, and it matters in our financial lives. When we're honest in our dealings, when we keep our promises, and when we treat others fairly, we build trust and a solid reputation. And that, my friends, is priceless. It's the foundation of true wealth and lasting success. So let's be people of our word. Let's do right by others, and let's build a legacy of honesty and integrity. If you found this lesson valuable, share this video with your friends and help spread the message of honesty and integrity. Chapter 5. Generosity. The more you give, the more you get. Now let's talk about Abram, a man after God's own heart. Abram's story is one of faith, obedience, and immense generosity. In Genesis chapter 14, verses 18 to 20, we see Abram giving a tenth of everything he had to Melchizedek, the priest of God Most High. This act of giving was significant and set a powerful example. This wasn't just a one-time thing, folks. This was the beginning of the principle of tithing. Abram's generosity was a reflection of his deep trust in God. Now, some people think tithing is just about giving money to the church. They see it as a financial obligation or a religious duty, but it's so much bigger than that. Tithing encompasses more than just our finances. It includes our time, talents, and resources. Tithing is about acknowledging that everything we have comes from God. It's a way of showing gratitude and recognizing His sovereignty over our lives. It's about putting Him first in our finances, trusting that He will provide for our needs. When we prioritize God, we demonstrate our faith in His provision. And you know what? When we're generous with what God has given us, He promises to bless us in return. This principle of reciprocity is woven throughout the Bible. It's like that old saying, the more you give, the more you get. This isn't just about material wealth, but also about spiritual and emotional blessings. So let's be cheerful givers. Let's open our hands wide, and let's watch as God opens the windows of heaven and pours out blessings we can't even imagine. Our generosity can transform lives and communities. Chapter 6. Relationships. Worth more than all the money in the world. Let's talk about priorities for a minute. What truly matters in life? Is it wealth, power, or something deeper? In Genesis chapter 13, verses 8 to 9, we see Abram making a choice that speaks volumes about his character and values. He and his nephew, Lot, were having a bit of a disagreement about land. It was a tense moment, a potential conflict. Now, Abram could have easily thrown his weight around. He was the older one, the more prosperous one. He had every right to claim the best land for himself. But you know what he did? He put relationships first. He valued peace and harmony over material gain. He told Lot to choose whichever portion of land he wanted, and Abram would take what was left. This act of selflessness was profound. Now, that's what I call putting people before profits. It's a lesson in humility and generosity. You see, folks, relationships are more valuable than all the money in the world. They are the foundation of our lives. Don't sacrifice your family, your friends, or your integrity on the altar of financial gain. It's a price too high to pay. Remember, at the end of the day, it's the people we love and the memories we make that truly matter. These are the treasures that last. So let's invest in those relationships. Let's cherish the people in our lives, and let's never forget that love is always more valuable than money. It's the true wealth we carry in our hearts. Chapter 7. Patience. Don't trade your future for a bowl of stew. Finally, let's talk about Esau. Poor Esau. He let his stomach make a decision his heart would later regret. In Genesis chapter 25, verses 29 to 34, we see him selling his birthright to his brother Jacob for a measly bowl of stew. Talk about an impulse buy. He was so focused on immediate gratification that he traded away something incredibly valuable for a fleeting moment of pleasure. Now, I'm not saying we can't enjoy the fruits of our labor, but we've got to be smart about it. We can't let greed, impatience, or a case of the I wants lead us down a path of financial ruin. Building wealth takes time, it takes discipline, and it takes patience. So let's learn from Esau's mistake, let's think long-term, and let's not trade away our future for a bowl of stew. Until next time, keep climbing your debt-free mountain. Well, folks, there you have it. 7 powerful money lessons straight from the pages of Genesis, the Bible. A treasure trove of financial wisdom. Remember, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how you manage it. So let's be good stewards. Let's work hard. Let's plan for the future. Let's be honest in our dealings. Let's be generous with what we have. Let's prioritize relationships. And let's never trade away our future for a bowl of stew. Thanks for watching. If you found these ancient lessons helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. See you next time.